Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to finish up the back of 1.3 notes. So again, we're going back to our median. So here I want to emphasize a couple of things here. First of all, when you see two double lines like this, that means congruent. And so what that's telling us is this segment here is congruent to this segment here, okay? So that means that they're equal in measurement. So that means that this point right here is the midpoint, okay? So that's what you, as we're going forward in geometry, if you see that a line is divided into two equal halves or two congruent halves, then that means that where the middle of it is, that's actually the middle or the midpoint. All right, so we're told here to find x and y. So I need to tell you what x and y are. So we need to do that. So I'm going to start off by putting 4x plus 12 and plus 2, I'm sorry, right there, and x plus 5 here. And then in this corner, we're going to say y, okay? So first of all, let's take care of our y. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing. This is 110, okay? So to figure out y, what we have to do is we have to notice that if we draw this line, this midpoint here out, and we draw this parallel side out here, it forms a transversal, okay? You see our diagonal line? So because these two angles are inside and they're on the same side, they form our C. So you want to draw your C so you can see it. So you see your C, so it forms a C, so we know that's going to be consecutive interior angles. And because the consecutive interior angles are supplementary, we're going to subtract from 180. So we're going to say 180 minus 110 is equal to 70. So that means that y is equal to 70. Okay, so that takes care of that part. So now let's take care of our midpoint and our parallel sides. I'm going to erase this little part right here. So I'll need that part for the next part. All right, so remember, this is our midpoint. This is our parallel side, okay? So remember our thing. We say 2 times the midpoint, which in this case is x plus 5, equals 4x plus 12. Plus 12, I keep saying 12, sorry, plus 2. All right, so we distribute the 2 inside our parentheses and get 2x plus 10 equals 4x plus 2. Now again, we can solve this any sort of way. Let's go ahead and subtract 2x from both sides and get 10 equals 2x plus 2. And then we'll subtract 2 from both sides and get 8 equals 2x and divide both sides by 2 and get 4 equals x, okay? So those are our two answers here. Y equals 70 degrees. Sorry, I'm gonna make my degree mark a little smaller because that looks like another 0. And x equals 4, all right? So here is a sort of, we'll call it a mini word problem. It tells us that segment XY, YZ, and XZ are mid-segments. So again, here's XY, here is YZ, and here is XZ. So all of these are midpoints. And if you notice the corresponding sides. So it says of triangle JKL. So JKL. So find the perimeter of JKL if we know that XY is 15. So we'll put 15 here. JK, which is this side over here, is 22. And XZ, which is this side right here, is 13. Now, what we need to do is we need to figure out, remember, perimeter is the distance around the figure. So we already got JK, so we know it's going to be between 2 units on that side. Now we need to figure out what JL is. Now if you notice, JL is parallel to XZ, okay? So remembering what we said, when we're going from the midpoint when we're going from the mid-segment to the parallel side, we multiply by 2. So 13 times 2 is 26, okay? And then we need to get this side here. So this parallel side goes with this midpoint, this mid-segment here, 15. So again, just like we did before, we're going to say 15 times 2 is 30, okay? So now we have all three sides, so all we do is say 22 plus 26 plus 30 equals 78, okay? And that's all you got to do. So now we're going to move on to another xy, finding the xy. So we're told that they're both parallel because they're little triangles. And then we see our congruent mark, so we know these are mid-segments because this side is congruent to this side, so it's even, it's split in half. And this side is congruent to this side, again, split in half. So let me give you your x and your y's. Okay, the y is going to go here in this corner. We're going to be told this is 200. This is 3x plus 4. And then lastly, this is 78 degrees. Okay? So this time, let's take care of our y again first. So we're going to draw little dotted lines. And this is just to show that if we drew it out, that way you can see it's two parallel lines. And we have our various angles. So I have one is, the y is outside the parallel lines. The 78 is inside. So remember, when they're outside, you got one outside, one inside. That's corresponding. So that basically means that y is equal to 78 degrees. Remember, corresponding angles are congruent. So whatever one angle is, the other angle is that as well. Okay, so that takes care of our y. Now let's move on to our x. All right, so here, remember, this 200 is our mid-segment. 3x plus 4 is our parallel side. So remember, 2 times our mid-segment, which is 200 this time, equals 3x plus 4. All right, 2 times 200 is 400, and that's going to equal to 3x plus 4. So now we're going to subtract 4 from both sides and get 396 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3 and get 132 equals x. Okay? And then our last example problem is another one just like number 9, well, like the other number 9. So we have two number 9s. I apologize for that. So QR, segment QR, RS, segment RS, and segment QS are mid-segments. So we know all those are mid-segments of triangle ABC. Find the perimeter of QRS, which is the smaller triangle this time. The last time we did the bigger triangle. So we're told that AB, which is this big side here, is 44. We're told BC, which is this big side here, is 40. And we're told AC, which again is this big side here, is 48. Okay? So in the last example, we went from the mid-segment to the parallel side. Now, because we're dealing with all the parallel sides, we got to go to the mid-segments. So let's start with AC. The mid-segment for AC is QS. Okay, so I've highlighted it. So we're going to divide 48 by 2 and get 24. Okay. Then we come down to BC. The mid-segment for that one is QR. So again, we're going to divide 40 by 2 and get 20. And then lastly, we have AB, or R, and that's going to be parallel to RS, okay? And that's going to be 22. So now our measurements are 20, 24, and 22. And that gives us 66 units. Okay? So now, again, use these notes when you're working out the example problems to follow. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.